Hi there, Jim here. So, something a little different today. I have got these Sony MDR-V6 headphones. These are apparently fantastic headphones. They have been fantastic headphones, and I bought these in the late 1980s, and I've owned them ever since. And well, I'm in the midst of let's say renovating these headphones is maybe the word to use. So you can see that this is what's happened to the ear pad. The second one looked just like this, but I took it off and threw it away. And I mean, it wouldn't be that bad if it was just that the fabric got all sort of like, you can see that the sort of exterior has disappeared. But what's happened, and I don't know if you can really tell, I'll try to get in here and point it out. But the thing that is really gross and disgusting about this is that the foam, right? So there used to be kind of a layer of foam around here, but the foam that used to be here has turned into this kind of like toxic, it's turned into this goo. And it's kind of all over inside here. A lot of it, of course, came off on my ears as I was wearing them, but you can see it down here. Fortunately, not much of it has gotten into the driver itself, but it's kind of gotten in here. Now, what I'm planning to do is I've ordered a pair of replacement I guess ear cups is what they're called. And so I'm just getting these ready for the replacement ear cups. And I thought it might be interesting to see sort of what I've had to do. Now, so this one has kind of been mostly cleaned. So I've gone through and you can see that that's pretty clean, not a lot of goo. There is this sort of mylar kind of gasket which I have to re-glue. I've cleaned that up. I think it's mylar or some sort of like, it's certainly not paper. I originally thought it was paper and I thought it would just tear to shreds, but it turns out that it's a synthetic material, and I'm able to kind of wipe it with alcohol, although it takes quite a long time. I'm able to wipe it down and get it looking a lot better than it was. So let's sort of look at what the situation is on this one, which I haven't really done anything with yet. So it turns out that these can be separated. Okay, so they come off and you can see all that goo. It's super gross because it's kind of like an oily residue and it sticks to your fingers. And so you can see this is sort of what remains of that pad. So the good news is that this stuff can be cleaned, although when I say cleaned, it's incredibly tedious. You kind of have to scrape it off. And of course, you want to be gentle because you don't want to rip anything there. And when you get into the part where the driver is, you don't want this stuff to really get in there because it's sticky. It's sort of like an oily feel to it. I don't know. And like the foam has just totally broken down. And well, I just, before I put those new ear cups on, I want to get rid of all this crud. So I just thought I would kind of show you a little bit of each of the steps. I don't want, it took me about an hour to clean the other one off. So I'm not going to have you watch me do this for an hour, but just want you to see how this goes. a little bit. There's some screws under here. Anyways, I need to kind of put this down on the bench and go at it. And so I will, I'll do a little bit, I'll do it in kind of chunks so you can see how it works. All right, so I've been scraping away here for about 20 or 30 minutes. Now, in general, I try to sort of scrape from the central part to the edge. And that's mainly because I don't want any of this stuff to fall in. Now you can see here some of the foam sort of is pressed up against the driver. And of course it doesn't want to just, you know, it's not just going to come out on its own. It's going to need a little bit of assistance here. So I'm using a toothpick to go about this really, really gently. And then that. I mean, look at that. Ugh. Comes away. So that's good there, but then I've got spots like here where it's just gone into the driver section. Really just have to tease it out. And so that's pretty good. So the next step here, I'm gonna have to just get a little closer and just make sure that there's no stuff in there hiding in some nook or cranny. I want to get it really clean. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start wiping it down with alcohol to remove all the last little dribs and drabs. This stuff is really, really horrible. You know, when it gets on your fingers, it turns into crude oil or tar. It's just, I'll tell you, it's one of the worst things. It's even worse than dust. You know, dust will cling, but dust doesn't want to adhere as badly as this stuff. I just think this is awful. Whatever the material is that they used to make those foam pads, that stuff should just be banned. What I do here is, well, I take some paper towel and I rip it up into these strips and I fold it into little pads. And I put some alcohol on it. And then I gently wipe this. Now, when I did this with the other one, I thought, oh, you know, this is just paper. It's going to shred. Well, it turns out it's not paper. And since it's not paper, it doesn't shred. But you can see the reason I rip off chunks of the paper towels, it all turns into this. Like, it gets black and gross. You can tell I'm not very impressed with this kind of thing. But in any case, I've done a better job of scraping on this one than the last one. There's a lot of residue left. But you can see there that, I mean, it looks kind of black, but it turns out it's more gray at this point. Although I'm sure there's black mixed in. I don't think that's going to matter so much. this ring has sort of another adhesive on it, and it hasn't quite turned to well, so it's not going to hold anything anymore, so I'm sort of scraping it off here. And this is a stir stick. I know all these things are useful, and so if I proceed around the edge slowly, you can see that, oh, there's some on my finger, but you can see the adhesive kind of comes up along here. And it also helps to use more alcohol, keeps the adhesive from being too sticky. So between the stir stick and the toothpick, I'll kind of go around the entire edge here. And see how that's coming up. And I'll go around the entire edge and get that all cleaned up. So how do you know when you're done? That's always the ultimate question when you're doing this stuff, right? Because, I mean, stuff still looks kind of dirty. Maybe? Well, so I've got another hunk of paper towel. You can see it's doused with alcohol. And if I take this and rub it around, okay, just a little bit of stain coming up there. Okay, not much. I mean, let's remember, right? This is what I was getting before. Gobs and gobs of this stuff, right? Just look at this pad. Well, the only thing that I have left to do, fortunately or unfortunately, depending upon your point of view, since I didn't really know what I was doing, I have to reattach this on this side, and I need to find some sort of an adhesive. I'll probably use some sort of a household cement or contact cement, and then I also have to attach this ring, although there is a decent amount of cement still on the back, and you can see that this one, there's still some stuff here that I didn't manage to get out last time. This stuff is just insidious because it's sticky, because it's not just a powder, it sticks everywhere. Anyways, this ear cup was worse. So I'm going to reattach this fiber ring. Now, one of the things to notice, I'm going to apply some glue, which is sitting right here. So I'm going to use this flexible plastic adhesive. It sort of works on anything. The thing to notice is that the adhesive is only sitting along the edge here. So what I'm going to try to do, to get the light shining there, so you can see the variation of color there. So I'm going to try to just get the adhesive out with a toothpick, my favorite tool, and I'm going to apply the adhesive around the perimeter here in order to try to reestablish a decent contact. It's probably not what they used originally. They probably had a better way of applying that glue in the factory, but I don't have any of those. I wouldn't say that's the greatest looking job. Oh, I missed a chunk here. Okay, so like I said, not the greatest looking job, but hopefully that does the trick, because I think this might have something to do with the bass response. Of course, getting this aligned in the right spot would be a good idea too. Okay, so once that's down, it's pretty good. I'll touch up the spots here with alcohol in a second, and some of the other spots where I've overflowed a little bit. So these are the two ears. So this is the one on the right is the one where I did not take the pad off. The pad, or maybe this has something to do, like I say, with the bass. So I didn't take it off on this one. I did take it off on this one. This one has a little bit of pucker in some spots. I'm not sure if you can tell. This has pretty much no pucker. Although, like I said, I was pretty good about keeping the adhesive to the edges. So it's now stuck on, and my finger's not sticking on, which is a good sign. So now I'm going to go grab the new pads, and we'll slide those on, and it'll be a complete job. I got these new replacement pads off of Amazon, where the world shops, I guess. These are Wicked cushions. Let's see how they, they ship in this pack, and nice little package. There's some instructions to send you to the video to put these on. So I watched the video already, so done with that. There's a little promo card to maybe win a $100 Amazon gift card. And then there are the two cushions. So one of the things that I want to mention here, in case you're struggling to figure out what to buy. So I bought the perforated ones. I thought that looked cool. But these they appear to be more of a fabric rather than a foam. Maybe there's foam bonded on that side and fabric on this side. In any case, I'll tell you, I'm not going to wait 20 or 30 years to do it again, because that was a total drag. So anyways, you start out, we'll see if I can do this here. They just make it look so easy on the videos, don't they? They must have 5 hands. So they say, you start out with this groove here at the top. Of course, there's always a wire in the way. Slide that into the groove. And of course, that's started now. And so that's going in there pretty well. Come back here. Now, I have to say, believe it or not, this, aside from the fact that it wants to come back out, it hasn't been that hard to get this into the groove. Now we just need to pull the bottom over. Sorry. It's all come back out. This is kind of like putting new tires on your bike. Okay, so you really need to make sure that it doesn't come back out as you're trying to pull it over and into this groove. There we go. So that's one. Then flex them a little bit. And kind of demonstrates shifting them around. That works better to get them seated. So that's one. So that's pretty good. I'm not going to make you watch me struggle with the other one, but I will show you the end result. Okay, so that's done. All I can say is, wow, that was awesome. That was super easy, and I should have done this 100 years ago. So don't be like me. Don't wait until they're totally decrepit, turning back into the petroleum from which they came. Get yourself a replacement set of cushions when it's easy and you don't have to go to great heroics to get these done. So there you go. They look better than new. Now, I guess the headband is the next project. Okay, well, thanks for watching.